And we're live. And we are doing a YouTube today because I want to save this. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about eczema and psoriasis. I want something that's sort of a keeper that you can refer back and forth to, because a couple new pieces of information came out in the last 2 days. And I want to get to the information. First of all, from the Wellcome Trust Sanger Institute. I'm trying to think where that is. I think it's in Chicago. This was published and just released on the 21st, just 4 days ago. It says the development and origins of eczema and psoriasis have been discovered. They figured out why this comes about. So I'm going to read this article as it sits, give you a few bits and some pointers through this. Then we're going to take a look at how we think eczema really starts when we go back and look at it starting in babies. And then we're going to take a look from Binghamton University, New York, which takes a closer look at why eczema and psoriasis start. And there's going to be some takeaways. If you know somebody that's suffering from eczema or psoriasis, that the only option we've gotten so far is a biologic. You see the commercials on TV for it all the time. There are other ways to go about treatment. So let's look first, January 21st, 2021, from the Wellcome Trust Sanger Institute. Scientists have created a highly detailed map of skin, which reveals that cellular processes from development are reactivated in cells from patients with inflammatory skin disease. Give me an interpretation. These researchers at this Wellcome Sanger Institute have been looking at trying to grow skin in a lab. Again, if this does occur, I'm not saying, are we trying to play God? No. But if we could potentially do this, the life-saving for people that have had serious burns or other damaging skin issues is dramatic. So they've been researching this. They've been watching the development of new tissue in a lab. The researchers from the Wellcome Sanger Institute and King's College in London discovered that skin from eczema and psoriasis patients share many of the same molecular pathways as the developmental skin cells. So what they're growing in a lab, and they're finding some similarities when they do and pull off tissue samples of patients with eczema or psoriasis. They're saying this offers potential new drug targets for treating these painful skin disorders. Of course, we're looking for a drug to take care of this. Published the 22nd of January in the journal called Science. Study also provides completely new understanding. I'm going to fill in the blanks here in a second. I've been talking about psoriasis and eczema for 20 years now. It's nothing new. It's inflammation. And one of the first things that I have suggested to individuals is they get a copy of our anti-inflammatory diet. And you make those changes now. And I will tell you that for the most part, if you take away the potential inflammatory foods and exposures to your body and get them out of your life, you see an improvement. Is it 100%? No. Could you make it go into remission? Theoretically, yes. Listen up. Completely new understanding of inflammatory disease, opening up new avenues of research on other inflammatory diseases, such as rheumatoid arthritis and inflammatory bowel disease, both of which we've talked about a lot recently. Part of the Human Global Cell Atlas effort to map every cell in the human body. God, 21 trillion cells. I mean, these guys are going to be busy forever. I'd like to know who's paying them. The new comprehensive atlas of developing an adult skin is a valuable resource. Our skin acts as a barrier, protecting us against invading bacteria or viruses. It's vital for health. It is the largest detox pathway in the human body. Inflammatory skin diseases such as atopic eczema and psoriasis are chronic conditions where the immune system becomes overactive, causing itchy or flaky skin that can be very painful or prone to infection. So again, it's inflammatory, it's chronic, and it's an overreaction of our own immune system. These conditions can have a significant impact on people's lives, but the triggers are unknown. And there is no cure, with treatments only helping to relieve the symptoms, not the cause. Skin is a complex tissue made up of different types of cells. It goes on to say, to learn how skin forms and how this relates to adult health and disease, the researchers studied cells from the developing skin that they were making in this lab. They said this, using cutting-edge single-cell technology, the team analyzed more than 500,000 individual skin cells to see exactly which genes were being switched on in each cell. This allowed them to find out what each individual cell does, and this is intriguing, how cells talk to one another. Yep, picture them like little Pac-Man, they're talking. To their surprise, the researchers discovered that the diseased skin cells shared many of the same cellular mechanisms as the developing cells. Dr. Hanifa, senior co-author, said this, Skin Cell Atlas reveals specific molecular signals sent by healthy, developing skin to summon immune cells to form a protective layer. So these new developing cells, as in an infant, send out these molecular signals to our God-given immune system. You think we evolved from a worm or an ape? They were amazed to see that eczema and psoriasis skin cells were sending the same exact molecular signal. And that could overactivate immune cells and cause the disease. Never saw this before. Discovering the developmental cell pathways reemerges a huge leap in our understanding of inflammatory skin disease. Dr. Sarah Techman, co-author of the Wellcome Sanger Institute, said part of the International Human Cell Atlas initiative to create a Google map of the human body, the Skin Cell Atlas study provides, listen, that studying development can not only help understand how tissues are formed in the first place, but also shed vital light on diseases. This map reveals a completely new way of thinking about inflammatory diseases. Something likes to fuse. Something causes these cells to talk, and it's something that we are doing. This is just published, just came out. Story number 2, Lund University. In a healthy intestinal system, there's a great variety of natural bacteria. So we're going to the gut again. Today, many people have an unbalanced flora of intestinal bacteria. Now, a new study from Lund University in Sweden shows that children with only a limited variety of bacteria in their feces 1 week after birth did stool analysis of these newborns a week after they're born. Those that had low levels of good bacteria often developed atopical eczema by age 18 months. Study was published in the Journal of Allergy and Clinical Immunology. A diversified intestinal flora seems to be better at stimulating the immune defense. Think about this, our first article. They haven't quite figured it out. The article I'm reading to you right now from Lund University is from January 27th, 2008, 13 years ago, that they said these signals initiate in the gut. So they're talking about these skin cells talking to one another, starting that immune response, sending a signal to overactivate the immune system, which causes eczema and allergies. Could it not be that the impetus point for this whole thing is an inflammatory diet and a lack of bacterial diversity in the gut? The composition of a child's bacteria flora is dependent on the mother's microflora, since she is the primary source of the child's bacteria at the onset. Why we say over and over again, for the entire course of the pregnancy, it becomes extremely important for that mother to be utilizing probiotics. A healthy vagina is totally dominated by lactobacilli or lactic acid bacteria. With a vaginal delivery, the child will come in close contact with the mother's bacteria. If the mother has a good flora of bacteria, the contact is an important step for the child to be able to be colonized by bacteria in the proper way. It can be assumed that certain hygiene measures, such as antibiotics given in some countries in connection with deliveries, in normal cases may have a deleterious effect, since the mother is then at risk of a skewed bacterial flora. But today, many women in the U.S., as many as a third of all women of fertile age, have bacterial vaginosis. 1/3. This is a condition which other bacteria other than lactobacillus dominate the vagina. Precisely why people have less diversity is not known. Diet, lifestyle. Consumption of live lactobacillus, including lactic acid fermented foods, has been a regular part of the food intake of humans for a long time, and it needs to be accentuated again. So, in this study, Professor Agnes Wold, Gothenburg University, said by giving mothers probiotics during the course of the pregnancy, giving the newborns probiotics once they're born, could fend off getting eczema or psoriasis, period. The mechanism of the signaling from the gut to the immune system to go after the tissue in the skin wasn't there. June 24th of last year, Birmingham University, a new study may be able to peel back the layers of unhealthy skin, at least metaphorically speaking, to get a closer look to a cure. A new study from researchers at Birmingham University, State University of New York, may help peel back the layers of unhealthy skin. An estimated 35 million Americans suffer from eczema. That's 10% of the population. 10%. 15% of children suffer from symptoms such as dry, inflamed, and very itchy skin. Although there is a myriad of treatments for eczema, such as medical creams, the exact causes of the conditions remain elusive. I think we just pinpointed some of those. In a new paper, the team of Associate Professor Guy German and PhD student Zachary Lipsky from the Thomas J. Watson School of Engineering, connects two aspects of eczema research that are rarely studied together. One result of atopic dermatitis is a decreased level of skin oils known as lipids. So we go back to the gut, we go back to the lack of probiotics, and now we're saying a lack of lipids. Lipids on the surface of the skin function to regulate hydration and also help defend the skin from foreign invaders, either indirectly through immune signaling or directly through their inherent antimicrobial activity. Another result of eczema is an increase in staph bacteria in the skin. Where is that coming from? From the gut. German said that genetics can play a part in whether somebody has eczema, but people in certain occupations have also been shown to more be likely to get the skin condition, such as healthcare workers, metal workers, hairdressers, food processor workers. Connection? An increased amount of hand washing or regular contact with detergents for your job. What happens if either through a mutation or through occupational risk, there's a decreased presence of lipids in the skin? The essence of the study is that normal, healthy conditions, bacteria do not penetrate the skin barrier. In atopic dermatitis, conditions or lipid levels are consistent and go down. While this study has not unlocked all the aspects of atopic dermatitis, showing that the bacteria can be the cause rather than the result is the next step forward. So let's go over it. Eczema, psoriasis, similar to newborn skin, signaling to the immune system, because why? Somehow the body is realizing that there is inflammation present. So if we quell that by following an anti-inflammatory diet and cleaning up our lifestyle, omegas, high doses of fish oil have been proven over time to really make a big difference. Probiotics, the right forms like our ultra probiotic, putting that into the gut at a high enough dose to set the stage for good bacterial presence. And believe it or not, CBD topically has done a world of good for calming this because of its anti-inflammatory potential. Anti-inflammatory diet, omegas, CBD topical, and probiotics. And by the way, we have a wonderful, wonderful topical. Hang on just one second. I'm going to go get it. I'm still on. Miracle Lotion. Vanishing aromatherapy fragrance, great for dry, itchy problem skins, non-greasy, yet lasts all day. 17 natural oils and 14 herbs. Panthenol, aloe, and vitamins, naturally preserved, super moisturizing. No preservatives. Inexpensive, and does a wonderful job of hydrating the skin. Want more help with that? Again, this is one of those keepers. That's why we did this on YouTube. You can call me at 678-228-8900, 678-228-8900. The website is thenutritionshop.net, THE, thenutritionshop.net. God bless you, folks. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Take care. Okay.